Hey there, West Dove here with Dove Development and Consulting. So I'm excited about what I'm going to share with you here, but I'm more excited about the full content that you'll get access to wherever you're seeing this, the links that are embedded and so on and so forth. So a while back, probably 3.5, 4 years ago, depending on when you're seeing this, in early 2020, I put together a lesson that was really based on, it was called Leadership of Our Founders, and it really focused on George Washington and the characteristics that he had that really propelled him to be the father of our country, if you will, and so many things that impacted what we know today and the way our life is today. What led to him being the general of the Continental Armies, the president of the Constitutional Convention, and even our first president, and holding 2 terms there, and all the different things that George Washington did. Here's the thing about George Washington. George Washington didn't look for surrounding himself with puppets that would just follow in like step and say, "Okay, boss, you win. We do exactly what you say." He was very, very intentional about surrounding himself with others that had varying views that could complement and even contradict him, so he would get the right thought processes in establishing our new form of government and what he did there. Now, what we want to do as we work forward, I want to look at that foundation and some of the pieces that he put in place. But by doing that, we want to look at 3 different individuals now, and maybe later on I'll do some more. But for what we're going to do here, I want to talk about one specific person and how what that one specific person did set such a lasting example for all of the folks around him. He wasn't one of the youngest to sign the Declaration of Independence. He wasn't one of the youngest to be involved in the Constitutional Convention. He wasn't one of the youngest. Matter of fact, he was one of the oldest that was involved in signing the Constitution and some of the roles that he had after that. But he had worked most of his life from very humble beginnings, working hard, having very little formal education to develop influence as opposed to positional authority. He did have some positions, but nothing nearly as prominent as what George Washington had, but he carried a ton of influence. And throughout his life, to build that influence, he really worked to hone his strengths. He was very studious. He worked on himself physically. He worked on himself mentally. He did so many different things that basically outperformed his peers, his coworkers, the people around him at the time. And there's some neat stories if you really dig into what this is, and the links that I've got wherever you're accessing what I'm sharing with you right now. The other part was, while not infallible, he really worked hard at compensating for his weaknesses, because we've all got them, right? And it's a great example of how he turned many of those weaknesses into strengths, whether it was through how he surrounded himself with others, how he worked to develop and build himself in those areas, or just how he responded when he made mistakes. And we all do. And in so many cases, we can make a mistake, and it can be the start of that downward spiral. And that was not the case for this one individual. And that one individual is a fellow named Benjamin Franklin, and not the one that Anthony DiNozzo was kind of poking and chiding with in I think it was season 7 of NCIS. And there's a link that wherever you're seeing this or accessing this, you can dig into if you go to the full page on it. But that takes you back to a clip from that episode. But the real Benjamin Franklin, the one that flew a kite in the thunderstorm, the one that said an apple a day keeps the doctor away, a penny saves a penny earned, and all those different things. Benjamin Franklin was so key as one of the founding fathers of this nation, and the things that he did really are things that you and I can learn from. Now, moving forward, we're going to go into 2 others, 2 that were had homes and has some very, very prominent things that are not so far from where Cindy and I live here in the Shenandoah Valley. And we'll look at those soon, but not yet. Now, wherever you're accessing this, there's also a link that really comes on the heels and ties in with something that we've been looking at through this series leading up to this, and that's the profitability killers. And if you've never done that, leadership matters, but it's often written off as, hey, it's something intangible, it's soft, it's fuzzy, it's touchy-feely, and that's not true. It kills profitability in every organization. I would challenge you, wherever you've got access, to take the complimentary quiz we've got built in. It's a video where I'm going to walk you through a series of 8, 9, 10 questions, whatever, and it will land you on some different options that should serve you in your organization, be it a complimentary option a low-cost digital option, or maybe some conversations to see, hey, what can we really do to serve you or your team best to help you capture that profitability that's being killed by poor communication, ineffective leadership, or just maybe not enough good. Maybe it's not bad, but it's just not enough good in the right places in your organization, and you can't really track it. We'd love to help you with that. Hope this serves you well. Love to hear your feedback. Make it a great day. God bless.